psychological thriller. One minute you think this, the next minute you think that, the next minute are you even thinking? We are talking about a movie review right now of The Vanished, a Netflix psychological thriller that came out in 2020, starring Thomas Jane and Anne Heche. Listen, I enjoyed the movie. Do I think some parts of it you start to think like, how realistic is this, so forth and so on. But let's remember, my whole point and purpose of doing this is to bring you movie reviews where grief shows up on a big screen. As the grief bully, that's what I want to do. I want to just have a different creative way to bring you this reality, or lack thereof, of grief and how it shows up. I thought the movie was great in terms of you just really didn't know what was happening, what wasn't going to happen, things you didn't expect to happen. But what it did show was how grieving parents can deal with loss. And not just the two main characters, but also one of the supporting actors as well had grief going on in his life also. It shows how those two worlds intersect and how you could be dealing with something in your personal life and then it takes a hold of you professionally, if that makes sense, like not really knowing how to draw that line of separation. So listen, I think that the movie overall was decent. It was cool because it allowed us to show grief and see grief in more of like a thriller, suspenseful, psychological way. It wasn't really like a sad movie, honestly, at all. I really didn't feel sad, not one bit. I definitely think that that's a good thing, because sometimes when you're trying to highlight grief and loss, it's important to show people that it doesn't always have to be this heavy thing, that we can find other ways to bring awareness to this issue. And I call it an issue not because I think grief is an issue per se, but the lack of the communication around grief in our society is where I personally find the issue. So I'm not going to ramble on too much more. As always, trigger warnings depending on where you are in your grief journey, your process. Definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be back soon, guys, with another movie review where grief shows up on a big screen. Until then, love and light. Peace.